talk stats this morning.
Okay.
It's just Chris for when you get
Yeah,
going.
it's all right.
Are you talking about this is stats?
Yes, but at least it's not hot in here.
Or maybe a little hot.
Okay, so I'm all fired up. I have been to the mountain and back. Invited 200 top team leaders to a day with Gary Keller that was 2 days ago. Really awesome day. Actually surprised me. I was kind of going, we're just going to be just 8 hours of command and things on screens, and they didn't even really bring it up. It was really kind of back to the old days with Gary, even 15 years ago, of Gary just talking stream of consciousness. If you've ever taken Quantum Leap, so much more life stuff, much more wealth building, proper choices in money and real estate, and it was a really good day. It was a really good day. I mean, he is a really smart guy. I just always forget how smart he is. So,
So are you glad you're with Keller Williams? Were you ready?
yes, I am,
Any other
Stacey.
company?
Good question. But he just thinks way bigger. I mean, like as an example, I mean, it was all just kind of talk and him drawing and theories and what he's seeing, and he would mix things he's bought and sold, invested. And at one point, most of y'all know who Pele is, right?
Soccer guy.
World's greatest soccer player.
Correct. And at one point, he goes,
Tell the younger children.
I own Pele's life insurance policy. Exactly, that look. I mean, all of us were like, what? And it's just like a whole area that I would have never thought. And I don't know the details. I might email him and ask, but apparently when Pele dies, I get paid $3 million.
Holy beans.
So, I don't know. I don't know if somehow he was aware that like Pele wanted to be cashed out, like give me 200 and I'll make you the beneficiary. I don't know. But I'm just like going, what? I mean, it was kind of a day of that where you're just like going, it's just like, I'm thinking way too small here. So,
If anyone that wants to know, I have Brad's policy, so if you want $19.99 per month.
You know how old Pele is?
huh?
You know how old he is?
I'm guessing 70s.
No.
79.
There you go.
Wow.
But it has been weird because they got Gary on video. He's been near Pele a lot, so they're kind of watching Gary.
Never be worth more dead than alive.
So one more thing that just kind of, because I was with a lot of top team leaders, just a lot of talk, but I think more than once, a lot of people that I regard as smart have kind of said that they think this, whatever form it takes, will be in 2020. Okay? That's just one more piece on this side.
Okay, we're on the recession side, right?
Yeah.
Adjustment.
Adjustment, whatever happens, they think. And Gary didn't, I don't think he said 2020, but he multiple times kind of went, this is the longest up cycle in U.S. history and things go in cycles. So he did say that multiple times. So let's go on with stats. So good to chat with stats. Actually, they're kind of the same story, but we're starting to see a little bit of difference. So again, these all started in 2007-8 downturn. Sean started these for us to really be able to show real data to our clients, mostly to get sellers to price right. If you were in the market at that time as an agent, it took incredible skills because there was tons of supply and not many buyers. So it was very tough conversations to go, Mr. Culver, I know your house is identical to the house next door that just sold yesterday for $300 and you need to price it at $280. It was very tough to get ahead of the falling market, okay? So these were created to help you do that. we've kept them up, and they're still as valid today, but we've kind of been in a multi-year, just kind of same as last, so that same as last quarter, which is good to follow, but I think we're starting to see some things that we need to pay attention to. So, to me, this is the easiest, this is the key chart that, I don't know if you show your clients, but I think it gives you in one chart, these used to be all individual charts, but just a grasp of what is happening out there now. So, again, you can see that this is 3 years, but you can see we're fairly similar. This is kind of like perfection in our market. But I don't know if this is enough to note, but number of sales are down 1.2%. So in my mind, that's fairly even. This year's been fairly even. And again, we all know every property is a different story. It's a different analysis. It's a different talk with a buyer or seller because of condition, price, area, school system. So we can, in this room right now, I know people that are killing it. Right, Kevin? What did you say to me yesterday?
I'm killing it.
Hey, dude, I'm killing it. No, what did you say?
I just said the fall's good.
I know, but tell me your numbers.
I just said I got, over the next 2 weeks, either 5 or 6 listings going on.
For $6 million, right?
No, 3 million.
3 million. Okay, sorry, my bad. Still pretty good.
Your story was better.
Yeah, still pretty well. 6 for 3 million, still a pretty good number. Or there's people, or Ming's killing it. Then there's some people that are going like I'm flat, like there's no wind, right? No wind in my sails. So there's a lot of people on both sides. I think that might be true in all markets. Any month you can be having a great month or a bad month. It's a lot of it's luck of the draw who you're working with, but sometimes it is conditions. So to me, this is still totally freaky. Okay.
Yeah.
And realize that, yes, you can see that usually our peak median price is going to be second quarter, right? This is typical. It's down from second quarter, but it's typical. That is typical, but we're up 6%, and you'll see a chart later that this is like 11 straight quarters of 4 to 7% up. After we've gone probably from 2012-13 to a couple of quarters of 25-30% up. So this is it just doesn't happen that you just keep having quarters of 6%, 11 in a row. It's crazy. So I would think all of you get this question a lot. Especially with buyers, like, should I buy? Can this keep going up, right? And the answer is, we talked about this yesterday with someone, the answer is not necessarily, everyone doesn't buy necessarily to make a ton of money, especially on your own home, right? There's other reasons people buy, right? Which is what?
Place to live.
Right. Place to live, comfort for your family, the amenities, right? And some people, especially the longer you're going to live there, up or down really doesn't matter, right? But it is nice to own something. All of us have been fairly fortunate if you own a home and you've owned it for a while that you have a fairly large amount of equity in your home, which is a great thing, right? But I think we're consultants. We need to talk to people about what their purpose is in buying and if they're going to be there for a while. The answer is yes. You could show them the chart. We're up massively in the last 8 years. But again, you'll see on the chart, like people were asking the same question in 2017 in here, right? Everyone's saying, how can they go up anymore? Well, those people, if they did buy, probably are up 25, 50%, right? So no one can predict, when we're going to top, but the longer you're going to stay there, and if it's your own home, you're fine. And again, I think the things we talk about, Atlanta has so many things that are going to prop us up, whether the change is, we don't know. I don't think the change is this. I think for us the change is almost this, right? So, but that's just amazing to me. That's an amazing number. 0.4 of a point, not enough to talk about, really. But again, we're getting 97% on average of list price. That's a staggeringly high number. All of us have been in the business in years where the number was 90, or in the downturn it was 80, right? This is something to look at, okay? Right? 12%. I mean, let's pay attention. Median days on the market up a little bit. We'll pay attention to that. Allison?
12%'s high.
Yeah. Okay. I just showed this. This is basically what we just talked about in a different format. Depends on which appeals to you more, your eye or your clients are being able to describe it. Me personally, I like the previous slide better, but you have it too. Yeah, I mean, I'm just like going, what is going on here? But, you know, for some people, they might like the way this looks. So just know you have it two ways. Go ahead.
It'd be great, here, put a note for this.
Okay. Stacy?
Yes, I'm
Go
listening.
back to that slide. It'd be great if there was a way to take one of those out that you like the best versus, to me, if I'm in a presentation, that's just so overwhelming to see all those crazy bar charts.
I don't, yeah, but why doesn't Chuck have this as individual?
Well, they used to be.
I know,
Okay.
he doesn't anymore.
Well, we had 150 slides. So my guess is that you could, I mean, if you did, make a copy of this, blow it up, blow it up.
Well, it just
Yeah, we
seems
can
like
do
it
it.
would be easier.
Is this being recorded,
Only
Stacy?
one of them.
Yes.
There we
That's the one I
go.
like.
Okay, good suggestion though. Okay, good suggestion. All right, other way. There we go. All right, so just interesting to always look back. This is really, a lot of people didn't live this pain, okay? And so the longer you're in the business, you've been in multiple up cycles or down cycles, but if you lived in this world, this was crazy the opposite, okay? 31,000 listings, we've been holding steady. At the-
16 months of inventory.
Right, 16 months. That is just, that's worse than having your tooth drilled on without knowing. I'm telling you. That people,
Percent of failed listings, oh my God.
yeah, so now we're down to here. Distressed property, I mean, there you go. If someone calls up, and we still get calls going, hey, I want a foreclosure.
I get that.
I mean, I give you permission almost just to laugh on the phone. Right? I mean, they're just not out there anymore. But look at that, 40% of them. I mean, if you remember Scotchy, who one of our favorites of all time in this office, he had the PIMCO account, so he got all their properties. Scotchy Cochran, I can't remember which year, one of these years, was number 3 in the entire country for Keller Williams in number of closed sales. Because he had all these distressed listings. He was really in a good position there. I mean, look at the difference. We have double the closings now, okay? Look at that. I mean, anyone that you got to buy, I give you permission. Just contact them and say, buy me a present. You know? I mean, if you got someone to buy in this time, they got to be double, right? At least double. Look at that. That's pain. That is pain. You don't know how much pain. Look at there. There we go. I mean, 80%. I mean, it was a Wild West. You were. I mean, the great thing was your client still says today, how 500, I want to offer 400, and you're going like, but back then you could do it, right? Look at that. 75% price reductions, and look at the failed listing. So, totally different world you're living in. So, both markets have advantages. Both markets have good things about them and bad things about them. But I would prefer this market to that one. Okay? Again, I think just more of a visual. And again, all information nationally is different than regionally, that's different than state, that's different than your neighborhood. Price range are different too. So again, I always have people, everyone wants to work higher prices, no doubt about it. Same amount of work, for argument's sake, you make more money, but be careful what you wish for, right? I mean, this is almost a guaranteed sale, even though there's hardly anything in that price range. And this, right? You're going to be talking to the seller every day for 8 months. worrying about this seller every night for 8 months, spending money on this for 8 months. So again, the key is always
Is it,
get a price right.
this shows September 29th. Is there any particular reason why it's not a quarterly number? It's a September.
I think you
As
just,
of September 29th.
exactly. This is, I see why he's doing it. I mean, it's just to give you right now what your chances are.
That last column is odds, not months.
Say that again.
That last column is odds, not months.
Pending odds. Well, it's calculated off of that, but
Right.
yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay, go
It's gonna
ahead.
be more
You're
than
a
8 months.
gambling person.
Right.
It's gonna be more than 8 months.
Okay, other way. Other way. There we go. One more.
That?
Oh, the other way.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there we go.
This one?
One more. No, you went too far.
One more.
There we go. Okay,
That
so
now.
again, the only one I think it's a pretty powerful slide.
This is to show your sellers, just saying.
Yeah, plain and simple. So why is it so important to do your homework and your analysis and really get the price right? Because this is weeks. This is weeks the listing has been on the market. So look at the percentage of chance of selling quickly compared to the further out you get. And why is that, basically? I mean, it's pretty simple.
Stay on.
Right.
They've already seen you.
Right.
They weren't interested.
Right, so all of us, I think it's just natural human instinct. You know, we know that the second something's listed, everyone knows about it, correct? So it's been on 3 weeks. What's your first thought?
What's wrong?
Exactly. I mean, that's your first thought all the time. So that's important to get your seller to kind of feel that, right? Without a doubt. Okay, go ahead. All right, so this is what we saw in a different format, but I would say we're watching now, okay? I mean, quarterly, if we're kind of saying everything's been the same, this is the first kind of, we're going to pay attention to this, right? So that's a significant number. And I think most of you have said that, right? I was talking to Misha yesterday. I guess there's, I mean, how many of you, like when you're with a buyer, get in front of a big screen and just start kind of going through listings or stuff? Not many people, but I guess she does sometimes. Or they had done where you see the chart of, and I mean, it was just all red arrows down, right? Meaning they've reduced the price, which she got caught in a pickle because that person now goes, should I buy now, right? So be careful what information you're putting in front of people, but I think we're starting to see more price reductions, and that's something to pay attention to without a doubt, okay?
So how did you answer that if they ask you, should I buy now?
Well, how would you answer?
Say yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, but I mean, but why? I mean, obviously they want a why in that too.
I would point to all that stuff on the left side right there.
Yeah, still go back to trend line, we're still below that.
Yeah, we that's an answer we have to have 2 or 3 real reasons, right?
Interest rates.
Interest rates are low, the economy,
Interest rates are low.
economy's
Still
still here.
Low on inventory.
Low inventory.
Median price continues to rise.
A lot of growth in the area and in Atlanta.
I think all those, that's a pretty easy one for me to explain to somebody for all those reasons. So all the things great about Atlanta really aren't changing. Okay, we're the top 3 markets, if not one in the country, as far as appreciation, and it's because of these reasons. So, you know, unless you're planning on living here in this house a year or 6 months, on top of the fact that realize it's cheaper to own than rent, right? And sometimes, even though people don't realize just the amount your finances and your wealth improves by the way you finance something. So even though, let's just say, you're getting one of the lowest interest rates in history, so your payment is low. Right? So even though, let's just say you say, well, I'm going to live there 5 years, Okay, so I'm not saying, I don't think it will happen, but let's just say they go down 2% for 2 years and let's just say they go down 2% and by the time in 5 years you want to sell, it hadn't gone up. You might have saved that in interest just in your payment because of these rates, right? So I think we really in these times need to be much more of a consultant and find out what's your game plan for this. I think that's a big piece of it, but I would say almost every time, I would say there's no reason not to buy. I mean, and I would point out a great thing to do, I'll show you the chart when we get to it, to go, you know what? The same person, just name a name. Katie Smith was sitting here in 2017 and said the same thing. And look at this chart. If she had not bought, she would have lost 33%. Okay? I don't have a crystal ball, I can't tell you. But there's a lot of reasons why this will continue. Okay, and there's not much downside to you.
And price reductions don't indicate that the market's soft as much as that sellers were being unrealistic. You know, I mean, it doesn't mean.
Well, it can mean three things, right? What can it mean if we're having more price reduction?
Sellers are getting greedy.
Okay, what else?
Supply increase.
Too much supply or less demand, right? Okay, it could be any of them. But I think you definitely have to have a great answer because you will get that question a lot. I mean, I would expect that question from someone actually. So look here. Look at the difference. I mean, I think I'm going to say 90% of agents do not put enough time and homework into preparing for a listing. Because all we're trying to do, what are we trying to do with that listing? What's our main objective?
Get the listing.
Well, get the listing. Get the listing, right? But let's just say we're pretty good at getting listings, right? We're really there for one reason, which is I'm here to determine if I want this listing. Okay, I can get the listing, right? Do I want this listing? And so I want it it's great to have a listing, but we want a listing that's going to sell, right? That's what we're really trying to do. So we need to get it. We're trying to determine the difficulty of the seller in dealing with them, their demands, but most important, price, right? So look at the difference. I'd like my listings selling in the red time zones, not the gray, right?
Exactly.
Right. 12 days, 144. Right? I mean, it's just a massive difference. So we need to, I would say the two things, probably that I'd have to think for a while, but two of the top questions are, why should I buy now? And getting it priced, having great talks that I can get this priced to sell in a normal amount of time. Those are your two top talks. So yes, we definitely, we want listings that sell. Someone was telling me, I think it was Pete, did a presentation 6 months back. Lady wanted this, he wanted this. It was like, no way. There's no way this is going to sell. And he didn't take it, to his credit. And as of yesterday, he had gotten a call back from her. It has disappeared from the market. Didn't sell. So he's thinking, because a lot of you have been in the business, sometimes being the second or third agent, right? Right. If someone's unrealistic, is a good thing. Okay, continue. Sean used to always call this the American Idol chart. So it's really a beauty contest, but we can see how really all these years we've stayed so consistent. We've stayed so consistent in our level of supply, in our level of sales. And you know, again, we were in this number. We saw that back in the tough days, and now we're a third of that. And we're kind of staying, you know, high fours in number of sales in the city. So hadn't changed a whole lot. I mean, again, when we started these things, we just didn't have, I mean, we did these stats because it changed all the time. I mean, it wasn't this. So, but I think this is the first quarter, there's a little bit of thing to pay attention to. Hey, Fran. Okay.
Sorry to be late.
Oh, that's all right. Continue. And anyone, if you have a comment, please talk, okay? A lot of y'all, very smart people and love your comments. So, again, we're gonna really, I think, soon have a whole class just on the slides that are interactive, okay? Because I don't think people are using these enough. Go to the next one real quick. Well, keep going.
Oh, look, it's doing stuff.
That's all right, it's doing it, okay. Okay, so see, this is interactive, okay? You can put in an area, and you can put in a price range. And I wish people would play around with this more just to see the difference, like put in Buckhead 21 and put in, you know, somewhere in Gwinnett and see just the difference. Because, again, every presentation is different. There's way different numbers happening out there. And if you're, you know, we have to be versed in that. We're just trying to educate a client where they self-discover that it needs to be this price and that they're quoting us national numbers, or these numbers are not applicable to your area. So play around with these because these will change. So this is the whole story. We get this many listings, this is how many closed, this is how many closed with a price reduction. This is the side without a price reduction. This was listed once before, but we didn't change the price, so wrong agent. This is the ultimate, what we're looking for, that we saw in the lower numbers before it closes quickly. Over here, worst case scenario, wrong agent, wrong price. And this is just the wrong price. So play around with these. You'll see. I think you'll be able to really see how, you know, I think the application of this is someone that's really giving you news, or like, well, how can that be, Stacy? Because I'm reading this. Well, you know, let me show you the difference between a hot area and your area. Okay. All right. So go ahead.
I want you to demonstrate value.
Correct. I like charts every once in a while. I don't know if you necessarily use this in a presentation, but just for your own, I like charts that show patterns. So sometimes there's just things that change in the year, and it's just typical, okay? So like we saw, median price, almost every year it goes down in the third quarter from the second quarter, right? In the fourth quarter from the third quarter. Well, you can just see there's a typical pattern of failed listings, right? Percentage of failed listings. And this is pretty, why is this? Like, why do we, starting in January, why do we start going down, 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 down in failed listings?
Busiest time of the market.
More buyers on
There's
the
more
market.
buyers, right? Yeah, plain and simple. So, I mean, it's good to know things that are, this isn't market being good or bad, this is just the typical cycle. And again, we're very fortunate. I mean, just be thankful. Sometimes we're not thankful for the things that like we're in an area right now that the average price in this office is $350. Okay?
That's wrong.
Roughly.
504.
What? No.
not
I'm
monthly.
talking the closings in this office. Average price, roughly. Yeah, you're right. 504 for average home. Well, you're probably not thankful for that, but all you got to do is me go on a plane with a bunch of people from different areas, and our average price is $160, right? Or am I thankful that I live in Atlanta, and yes, I'm upset that I plane leaves at 6, I get back here at 9:45, but half the people on the plane, they have to connect. I'm in my bed in 45 minutes, they're not getting in their bed till 2. Every time. There's no direct flights for them. And so, do I ever say, gosh, thank you, I live in Atlanta, I can fly direct all the time. Well, again, there's a lot of things with these things too. But again, be thankful for a lot of good things about this town and that we're in this business. Okay, go ahead. Kind of the same as before, but you can just kind of get a visual that right now out of every 100 listings, 69 are selling in some way or form and 31 are failing. and that 40% price it correctly. Only 40%. I mean, I don't know, it's not a terrible number actually. But just getting where you can present in a way that we're not fighting our client, we're technically on the same side of the table figuring out a proper price is a real skill. Okay? Forward, and again, this is interactive too. Okay? And we need to be able to use that. Different price ranges. I mean, no doubt. I mean, I don't know if I said it or not, but we were driving. I live in Buckhead. I was driving, I don't know where I was driving, but coming down Peachtree Battles, right off Peachtree, literally, these are all $2 million, $3 million houses, 5 in a row. 5 are listed, 5 in a row. And probably, I don't know, 12 on the street. You know, I mean, that area, it's kind of a buyer's market in there at that price range. That's way different than showing someone.
225.
Exactly, exactly. All right, continue. All right, y'all know this chart? I would say this you need to get pretty good at too. So if we want lower prices, we need to explain why that's a benefit to them. I mean, you know, just to say it's going to sell quicker, that's a benefit for you. It could be a benefit for them, but sometimes not. So here's the seller's price, and here's what we're suggesting, and we need to be able to prove that because this isn't going to go and you're going to have time on the market and like stale bread, people are going to discount it, you're going to end up with this percentage and make this in this amount of time, where we do this at this percentage and we're avoiding all these carrying costs for this time, you actually come out way better. We need to be able to prove that, right? If we can prove it and we're really right, that makes sense. And I think most of you are aware of this talk that kind of like you almost can't underprice something in this market, right? I mean, yeah, it's gonna be bid up.
It is hard to get sellers to believe that.
I know, I understand. And the truth is if I could do anything, it'd be wave a magic wand and like every quarter let all of you be a buyer and a seller. Because once you feel that, you know, you don't, sometimes if you hadn't bought in 10 years, you go, why are they, that's a great deal. And they wake up the next morning and got it under contract and they go, oh, I don't know. Let's cancel it, you know. I mean, buyer's remorse is a real thing, right? Yeah. We're sellers, same thing. They agree to go, I sold it too low, right? You know. Yeah, I mean, when you're selling, the things that you're pulling your hair out about your sellers, you actually become that. You know, you're trying to like for $1,000 at 600 range. You're going, no, I'm not gonna.
Yep.
You know, so get good at this chart because this is a key, and this is interactive also. But this will, hey, now it's working.
It's working.
It will get. This is a key to getting one key to getting your price right. Okay. Okay. So here's kind of the whole summary. We've seen it. We've been talking about it. To me, not important. Still very important. Not much. These two very important. Okay, we're watching this too. We got 3. We're really watching now. Okay. Very, very, very big thing. Again, just kind of good to have this in your mind. So, where do the sales fall? Okay. I mean, you want to sell at $1.5 million in the whole city. Last quarter, there were 112 sales.
You mean the whole MLS, right? FMLS?
Yeah.
You said city, you meant the
Well,
whole,
yes.
the whole FMLS
Right.
region. Yeah.
Right. The entire FMLS system. Where, look at this. I mean, hey, this is where, yeah, if you want to know where,
Your bread and butter.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay? Just good to know, good to keep in mind. I think this is the one I'm talking about. I would have this somehow on, probably the best thing would just be a picture on my phone that I could at any time pull this up to a client. Okay? I mean, someone might ask me this, hey, you think it's a good time to buy? And I might be out in the middle of the field where I don't have this handy, right? Look at that. That's insane. That's just, there's never been a time like this. After big ups over here, you're still doing this. So I think this is a great explanation. Hey, Hank, what do you think I should buy? I mean, prices are up. Well, you know what? Katie Smith said the exact same thing to me January of 2017, okay? And we talked this through, and she bought. Add all these up. She's sitting on this much equity, 5 plus 4, I mean, that's a lot of money, right? I can't guarantee the next 3 years are going to be this, but because of this, I would think there's a pretty good chance, right? I mean, this is a key one.
You might not want to show that to your listing clients. They might say, "Oh, we should list it for $1 million." Then
Let's list it higher.
Probably correct, Mark. Yes, there's some slides we show to some people and some to the other. Right, there we go. Okay. And again, we've kind of seen this in different formats, but actually what's kind of strange in this quarter is the higher prices have actually come down on days on the market, right?
Weird.
Yeah, it's very weird.
It's the season.
Yeah, I can't explain that. I might need to think about that more. Everything else somewhat the same. All right, there's in a different format. Virginia has a closing she has to go to. So for me, this has always been hard to just kind of take this in. I mean, I think if you sat with a client. Just shows months of supply. Green is meaning lower supply or better. So we're looking, let's look at resale, not necessarily new. So it's kind of strange that we actually, well, maybe not. So why do you think there's increased supply in these lower ranges?
Foreclosures or something?
What's that?
I don't know.
Who said the word?
I think everyone on the planet is trying to figure out a way to build in this price range, right?
Yes.
I mean, you pretty much sold it. So maybe people are making that happen. It could be in far out areas. I mean, around here you can't build this price range, right? But it's just interesting to note that.
Condos are cheaper and there's tons of condos.
This is, yeah.
I mean, is that single, is that detached, or does it distinguish between attached, detached?
This is
Price range, right?
detached.
This is detached. This is detached. So, but yeah, believe me, every builder on the planet is trying to figure out how to make numbers work in this range. Okay, because there's plenty of people waiting for it. All right, so I'm gonna go to the next slide because it describes it better. And this might be a new slide. He has this another way, but this is the previous slide, but just with numbers. So this is what we're looking for. So shift, remember shift. I don't like the word shift because shift was written, the book Shift, in the downturn, and shift meant
Whopper.
major correction, practically depression. So I don't like that word. So, but if we're using it as just change, we've already talked about these. Okay, I'm watching this. I mean, we haven't had a quarter in a long time where we've had worse, right? Like this. Okay, so 12%, significant number. Price reduction, significant number. That's not. Failed listings, significant number. Worse. Not enough to talk about. Not enough to talk about. Down a little bit. Let's watch that. Pending listings down a little bit. So we haven't seen this for a long time. Almost for the last multiple years, these have all been green, right? So all I'm saying is pay attention. This is interesting. So another thing from Gary, which just again, he didn't say 2020. Probably need to put this up there, but he did say. What did I tell you? He said. He said not 2020, but what did I say? He said something that was. Anyway, I'll go on. So I can't think of it. He did say, as offices and as agents, this month cut 10% expenses.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, Marquino's I know y'all were,
So Michael and I have talked about
Spoken
this a
to
lot.
that.
We've actually ridden for 2 hours talking about this. But all of us do it. Market good, market good, market good, market better, market better.
spend.
We just get laxer, right? I just buy it, or no, I'm not gonna get 3 quotes, just, right? Or we're starting to we used to go to North Georgia, and now we're going to New York on vacation. Or we used to go to New York, now we're going to Italy, right? Or I haven't used my YMCA membership in 3 years, but I just pay it, you know? I think when he's saying pay attention, a lot of getting through, and again, I can't say Atlanta might be almost nothing, or it could be something, but expenses is a piece of surviving that, right? So, when Gary's saying that, and he didn't say just take 10% off this month, which in my household would be nearly impossible. He said do it again next month and then do it again the next month. So, it might be an interesting process just to check out your checkbook and your accounts and just go because in good times you just kind of, you know what, I'm just going to the beach this weekend, and that just keeps rolling over, and then all of a sudden you look and go, oh my gosh, we're not even using this, or so he did say that.
Like a progressive 10%?
What's that?
Like cut 10%.
Your expenses,
October,
like
cut again,
like every
another
month
10.
you spend $6,000, I guess you're going to be spending $5,400 starting next month.
Okay, and then cut it another 10%.
That's what he said.
Okay.
Now, that's a tough exercise for me, I gotta be honest, but, I'm just saying to be prepared to be ahead of, or just really challenge all that you're spending for, and where are you getting the most money in spending in your business?
Return, where you get the return.
and in your life.
And stop spending if you're not getting a return.
Correct. But we pay attention now. We really pay attention. Okay, again, I'm amazed, in my day, we live by this chart. Most people don't even know these numbers. I mean, I know Nancy Aronic, if I said, what's East Cobb, she could rattle those 3 areas off.
64.
No, that's not correct.
There you go.
But I'm just saying, a lot of times in our search, I would be starting my search by these numbers, okay? So these are all the FMLS areas, okay? So Kev, before we go kind of into the whole city, we're Dunwoody office, not to say we don't have people all over the state practically selling out of this office, but let's talk Dunwoody. So, let's go Bob first. So Bob, you both are local Dunwoody guys and do most of your business here. What your analysis last quarter of Dunwoody, what's happening?
Pretty much mirrors what you just saw. I mean, I can tell you right now, there's 176 active listings in Dunwoody. That encompasses 30338 and parts of 30360, and there's 74 under contract. So that's
You're just talking about the cab.
Dunwoody's only in DeKalb.
No,
Let's get
121.
All right, so we have a little decision
Well,
on what's Dunwoody.
there are some people that are a little bit older that kind of think Sandy Springs is in Dunwoody. It's not.
So it sounds like you're calling
Dunwoody is
Dunwoody
DeKalb County.
and Kevin is calling Dunwoody everything east of
Well,
400,
a lot of
right?
people do that,
Right.
right? Area 121. But I separate out Dunwoody because Area 121, if you're in Dunwoody, it's gonna be a lot easier to sell than if you're in Fulton County, Area 121.
Agreed.
I know
Okay,
Mike
so
would agree with
good.
that.
We actually have two different analysis looking at two ways. So your way, which
Well,
is
in
really
DeKalb County, we're right now about 45% under contract to actives, which is pretty good. So for every 2.2 houses on the market, one is going under contract. That's pretty good.
that's very good.
And that includes single family and detached.
And why is that? Why is Dunwoody, DeKalb, why is that always a great seller?
Excellent schools.
Well,
Austin and
location,
Van
and it actually doesn't have excellent schools, but the connotation is that it does.
Well, a lot of it does. A
Well, it is the utopia of DeKalb County Schools, which kind of saying it's the utopia of shit. But,
Just so.
by the way, Michael Culver once ran for the school board.
Okay, but Austin and Van are top ranking.
Yeah, they both get 9 out of 10 on greatschools.org.
Right, and the middle and high are pretty decent also.
The high school doesn't do bad.
Right.
But I will tell you that of the 176 active listings right now, 80 have undergone a price reduction. So almost half have had to undergo a price reduction.
Interesting. So Kevin, you're looking, so I guess most of you realize, but it's kind of a weird situation we have here in Dunwoody in that, so here's 400, and so Dunwoody, like what Bob's talking about, is actually like this. So this is DeKalb County, and on the west, on the east, and on the north is all Fulton. It's very strange, okay? So Kevin is, even though they're all up here 121, right? So Kevin, you're looking at the whole thing with Fulton and DeKalb.
Yeah, a couple things that I saw that were kind of stood out. First of all, the good news is the average sales price is still over 500. You know, we were creeping up. We got over 500. We got as high as 518. We're 504, 500 now. That's good. The thing that you wonder, now, how did that happen? Is we were neck and neck through the last few years with Sandy Springs 131. They've shot up to 625. Sandy Springs inside number's gone down from in the 800s down to 650. So, you know, that's kind of crazy how much that's changed. Now, I think, to me, I think that 650 for Sandy Springs is just a isolated quarter, and then it'll probably get back up in the 7 and 8s. The other thing is, you know, your chart said days on market was down 12%, or excuse me, up 12%. Right. And Dunwoody is actually up 34%. Okay. 121, excuse me.
Okay, and that's why we're calling on this individually. And why would you say that is?
That's a good question. I'm sat there, scratch my head too, because I do feel like it's.
Is there oversupply?
No.
Maybe it's
So do you think
too many split levels?
Or do you think just prices have gone up so much that people are?
I think buyers are pushing back a little bit. I think that's why this year's got that odd fits and starts. Months we thought were busier, we're a little flatter. It just hit either a pending rate change, and even when it's high threes nowadays, people are so into that they're waiting. They don't have to buy it. That's actually a dynamic I see that's changed a lot. It's rare you get somebody that we need to find a house this week. There are so many buyers out there that if they see it this week, great. If it's 6 months from now, great. And when you look at the overall numbers, that's really.
And do you think that's because prices have gone to a level where patient?
I think smarter buyers, more info out there for them.
Yeah, and I also think the interest rates, as they continue to fall, people are like, there wasn't a sense of urgency. Or all of a sudden, as they start ticking up, you might see that go back up.
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny how you almost to the.
The other chart that you didn't have up here, that Chuck has in the stats, is they have every individual month in the with the jagged thing on there. We talked about how we felt like something was happening in July, back when usually after July 4th this thing gets dead.
Right.
And we did have a huge spike in July. August was even with the year before, so that was validated.
Okay, so this is interesting to just kind of know these things too. So here are all the areas, right? So, I mean, I've had people come to me all the time in the office is going, where would you say is the best place to buy right now? Maybe more investment thinking, and again, you have to ask questions. Are you talking buy and hold? Or are you talking flip? But if you're talking flip, you obviously need to be in an area where prices are going up. So you can see, this is actually sold, not prices, but you can see in some areas, you know, where, this is, I think, Forsyth County, pretty,
Alpharetta, Roswell.
yeah,
and
yeah,
Forsyth.
so I mean, Dan Bangs, why is Dan Bangs killing it? Look at this. I mean, holy smokes, I mean, he's totally Alpharetta, Roswell, that's one of the top areas in the town. And this will surprise you, because this historically is your best place in town. So this is Dresden, you know, kind of close to the cab. Actually, that's kind
The
of,
Briarcliff.
right, this is your area,
Yeah.
right? 52 is kind of out Claremont, Briarcliff, La Vista. And I think Buckhead was okay there. So yeah, and it could be that, again, that when you have this much appreciation, sometimes people just go,
Yeah.
Right.
right.
Yep.
So that would be my take on that. This is the same thing, just by color. Well, no, it's change of percentage sold. So you can see that, you know, here, which is historically, you know, this is usually considered a very hot area. You've had 10% number of solds go down. And, I mean, here, obviously, you know, I mean, it's kind of strange, but these are, some of them, well, there aren't that many that are in plus 20, but even, there's some bright green, here it is, right? So that's important to kind of look at if we're thinking numbers and purchases and sales with future thoughts. Here's median price, so this is kind of interesting. So, well, no, this is median sales price. So, again, 500 or more. I think we all kind of know this. I mean, we all kind of have a ballpark how the price ranges fall in the city and in the big area. Interesting to look at. So, well, this is what you were saying, Kevin. So median price, let's see which way they go. They actually 504. You said 504, right? So
Kevin
Kevin
knows his numbers.
wasn't even off 1,000. That's incredible. No, it's actually 5045. So you were off $500. But just kind of good to know. I mean, this might be good if you had someone coming into town that never been to Atlanta. I mean, this could be something to actually send them before they even arrive, right? It just, hey, I kind of know some stuff. Okay. So this is an important one to look at, change in median sales price. So,
Wow, South Fulton's going crazy in terms of sales prices going up.
correct. Why would you guess that maybe?
Relative price.
Lower
Right.
to start with.
Lower to start, and yeah, I mean, now these are still
Film
affordable
industry.
things, right? Where you're starting to
A
see,
lot of growth.
hey, you know, I mean, here, typically pretty hot areas, maybe just in a
Yeah,
middle
peak it out.
threshold, people are worn out from the appreciation. So this might be something, if I'm advising a builder or if I'm advising an investor, if they're really looking to flip, we probably have to take this into consideration, correct? Buy and hold, maybe not. Okay? And this kind of does it in the other format. Sometimes this is easier to see. But we can see, I mean, these are typically, I mean, holy smokes, this is Buckhead, this is Virginia Highland Morningside, this is
Inside.
Buckhead, Sandy Springs, inside the perimeter. Those historically are the hottest places in Atlanta, and we're seeing drops there. And again, that would be my explanation, that we've just gone so far that people are just woo, woo. Where, you know, all these are Gwinnett. This is the whole Gwinnett 85 corridor. Up, you know. This is something you need to take into consideration. Days on the market, you know, here it is, 132. Many years, hottest places in Atlanta, longest days on the market. Right? So, and again, this has jumped up. Well, no, that isn't, what's that? Is that 24?
Isn't that Morningside?
That's 23.
That's downtown, that's 24 is like Grant Park.
Yeah, Grant Park. And again, that's areas smoke, you know, just been smoking for so long. All those basically, I don't know if there's enough difference where you'd really present that other than, well, look here. I mean, again, we're seeing the same data. I mean, if you're Buckhead close in, you need to start, you know, that's a whole different listing presentation, right? Guys, I mean, I'm going to show you that price to listings down, days on market up, median price down. You have a real conversation there. Months of supply. Again, it just seems like man, that's the only explanation I can see. That one, this is the area that's been so hot. These are the highest prices. I think people
Topping out.
There's a lot of flippers in that area too, aren't there?
even on high price. So, you know, I think as markets get better and better, people get more courageous, and they quit following rules of money less. So, okay, I can build a house out here for $150 and make $15,000, or I can build a $2 million house in here and I can make $500. Okay, so okay, I mean, obviously there's a lot more risk in here, right? I mean, Rick can explain this. Maybe you felt this. So, you know, and you know, all these years, hey, I jumped up. I used to build. That's a big jump, but let's just say I built 300 or 500 and go. I'm gonna go for a $2 million spec, and it's like, wow, I sold it. Okay, and go. I'll do another $2 million. I sold it, and then I go. I'm gonna do 2 at one time. Okay, and then I'm gonna do 3 at one time. And I think that's kind of. I mean, if you drive around these areas, there's a lot of construction, and everyone has forgotten all the rules, and everyone. You didn't see how many people were planning to do this at the same time you. So I think that's why you're seeing that. Just supply is beginning. I saw 5 houses in a row, literally, on the same street, on the same nice street in Buckhead. I think this could be a very useful chart. Again, it puts a lot of things in comparison, right? And
For your buyers that aren't sure which area they want to end up in.
right, or
line them up.
or sellers that we want, you know, they're off base in their thoughts. Like this would be a good one for, let's say, if we were we had a call to list in 132, which we've seen the change. Let's look at this, right? You're right, the last 5 years, but look, almost every number is worse than other areas. Okay, so that's kind of an interesting.
That's
chart.
one of the interactive ones. You can put your own area
Yes.
numbers
Yes.
in there.
Yeah. So we're going to start having a lot more classes just on the interactive that you know how to use them. Okay, so before I forget, so sorry that we're rescheduling the pig roast. A lot of people were very excited about that. I think our call is correct, that even more so than yesterday, that it's going to rain. And I'm thinking 90% of you are not going to come out if it's raining. So
Are there stats for this?
there are stats, the percentage of people that come out in
Odds,
rain.
too.
That would be a good stat to know. So we are going to, I'll know today, it'll either be the 8th, the 15th, or the 22nd, one of those Fridays in November. We'll reschedule. Also, you'll receive this in a minute, but last year we did it. A lot of fun. Next Tuesday's the 29th. Halloween's on a Thursday. Last year we gave out prizes. So dress up for sales meeting. 150 to the best outfit. 100 for second. 50 for third. Always a lot of fun. Staff's dressing up.
Don't tell
They dress me up. You know, it's.
what we're gonna
So
be.
cute.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. All right, any other comments? Just market, what you're feeling about the market, stats, anything.
Well, how about congrats on being top 200 team leaders in
Yeah, people probably don't. There's 800 offices, so yeah, it was a good day. I mean, it was really cool to be in. I mean, some of my best stuff. I mean, Gary was awesome, but actually before and after, just talking with team leaders was really pretty good. So that was good. Yeah.
Can I make an announcement about ribbon for next Tuesday, lunch and learn?
Yes, I want you to do that.
Okay. So I don't know if a lot of you have gotten emails from a company called Ribbon Homes lately, and some people might have clicked on and some haven't, but this is a company that's moving into Atlanta. They're here now. They are a company that offers us a cash arm for our buyers, and they have several opportunities. They want to work with realtors. They're not trying to be like a Zillow or a Knock or an Open Door. They're really trying to work with us and give our clients an opportunity to buy a home cash. But they have to be mortgage ready, mortgage eligible. They can rent back up to 6 months, and then that gives people, a lot of times, our buyers our sellers time to buy a new home, get their other home really ready to go, and hopefully sell for more money, because they now have time to really stage it and prepare the house. So that's one. And then two, in a multiple offer situation, they have the cash arm to help you stand out way above any of your other competition. So they're coming into Atlanta. We're going to do a lunch and learn next Tuesday, 11:30 to 12:30 for an hour. And I would encourage you all to be here to really learn more about what they have to offer us and give us kind of a little bit of a upper edge for our clients, whether it's just buying only or whether it's sellers trying to get into the new house and then declutter the old to sell. So it gives us another tool in our toolbox. Okay? So an email will go out because it's a lunch and learn. We're going to need to know who all can come. So that'll go out hopefully this afternoon or tomorrow. Okay?
The world's changing fast, the industry's changing fast, and you're saying that almost every problem in the past you have with the buyer-seller, there's a solution for it now. So Virginia's gone to her closing, but she is currently doing a ribbon deal that she's extremely pleased with. But I mean, how many times have we, let's just say, older seller places cram full of stuff. We need to declutter work. They don't have any place to put it, right? And so we really can't do that now with this program. Hey, we're going to go buy your other house. You're going to go there, rent it, take all your clutter. And so, I mean, this is a great solution.
Yeah.
So,
and I would encourage you, if you have, Randy Lipp has been involved in the very first meeting. I would imagine the rest of his crew will be here as well. They really want to work with the lenders too, because they really want to make sure that the client can actually buy the house after they buy it cash, that they can actually buy the house within 0 to 6 months afterwards. And so they have to be mortgage eligible, so having a good connection with the lender and the lender understanding Ribbon 2 is also a major plus. So.
I've got a client that might work.
Yeah.
okay, sales calendar.
Right, but also Paul Yaku from Gannick, I'm going to pass this out. Good things to know if your seller falls into wonky categories like they're deceased or they're part of an LLC or they're part of a trust. So we will pass these out. He's been seeing a lot of this lately.
Go ahead and pass those out, and then I'll come back to you. So, listings, caravans, what do you got?
So I have a new listing coming up tomorrow in Sexton Woods. Not much sitting on the market these days in Chamblee. It's a split level, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home, about 2,200 square feet. It's going to be listed at $472.
Nice. What street?
Cold Spring.
There you go. Good
Really
street.
high demand street.
Okay. Who else? Hank.
I've still got my, it's a 4-bedroom, 4, could be 5-bedroom, 4-bath, selling as is, 545, great neighborhood, great DeKalb schools, Bob's. And
Say so, Hank.
there you go. But anyway, hoping to get some investors, somebody, a flipper, anybody that can come in and look at it.
GG.
Hey, I have a lovely ranch on a flat lot in the area of Chamblee Tucker, and it's only for $300,000. And I'm having an open house this weekend. It's super well located, very close to 285 and 85, and it's a lovely lot. It has a lot of potential, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it has a lot of potential for investor or first-time home buyers.
What street?
It's a, I cannot pronounce. Not away, not away, not away.
Not away.
Not away.
Not
Thank
away.
you, thank
Okay,
you.
good,
No
good for you.
And it's a lovely listing. Open house this Sunday.
Okay, you gonna be there?
Yes,
Okay,
I love open house.
yeah, I do too. Gigi, I mean, no. Luann.
That's my nickname, Gigi,
Yeah,
is
Gigi.
my grandkids.
Aww.
So I had a caravan a couple of weeks ago in Rivergate with a listing, and a lot of you came out. My sellers took all of your suggestions. We made a lot of revisions, and we've been doing a price reduction to $750. It is a great home. So please, if you have anybody looking in that range, $750 finished basement, please give me a call.
So my house at Marsh Rabbit Bend is finally ready. We're taking the photos on Friday. So if anyone wants to get in over the weekend, it's priced at $225. It's a 3-bedroom with a den plus an office. It's a ranch level lot. And it'll sell quickly. It's a great, the neighborhood is very well maintained. They did a nice job. The master bath is looking fabulous. It'll go quickly, but if anyone wants to see it, we're not doing the open house until the following weekend because they had to delay the photos. So if you want to get in anytime after Friday, I can get you in.
I'm sorry, where did you say it was?
It's Marsh Rabbit Bend, which is, it's Decatur, but it's not, it's like the north end of it. It's
Unincorporated Decatur.
Is it Rio?
no, I mean, it's considered, Decatur, but it's between Covington Highway and Wesley Chapel.
What's the zip code?
Gotta look it up, I don't remember it off the top of my head.
Rio something.
I wanna live on Marsh Rabbit Bend.
Sounds like saying at the beach.
Instead of Concrete Avenue. All right, what else? What do you got?
We have 2 price improvements. One is in Atlanta off Briar Lake. It is a great house priced at $475, 4 bedrooms, unfinished basement, a huge porch in the back, very level backyard, little rise on the way up, but a real private lot. And then the second one is in Roswell at 1135 Crestbrook Lane. It is a really unique house in the fact that it's got a pool, like 3 decks around it, a pergola, some updates, and what's really cool about this section of Roswell is they are adding a roundabout for golf cart access. So you will actually be able to drive your golf cart from this house right to downtown Canton Street, already downtown, and then drive your golf cart back.
Wow.
So some really neat features on both of them.
Can you get a DUI while driving a golf
Yes,
cart?
you
All right, who else? Anyone else?
Yes.
All right, super quick, Stacy.
I want to thank Roshonda Coleman and Dominique Garrick for awesome presentation at our open house boot camp on Tuesday. If you weren't able to join us and want to get the handouts, let me know. And but we did record it on our YouTube channel. Little Bird told me that this Saturday is National Pumpkin Day. Just a little touch. You could post social media or send out to your database or, cute picture. We have Susan's class next Tuesday, right? And please come and dress up. And I'm going to be sending out an update on the agent websites because I got a lot of information on our call.
Yeah, those just went live.
Just went live Tuesday late, and I'll send an update to explain why things are happening the way they are.
Okay. All right. We'll send the date, new date for the pig cookout next Tuesday. Dress up, prizes for costumes. Have a good one.
And the Cape Red, you wanted the 305.